let's go back to the legal document between Cassie and Diddy that has been filed. Okay, and it is public record. So Cassandra Ventura, she's the plaintiff, just one name, versus Sean Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Combs Enterprise, LLC, and. She said everything and everybody going forward. In this document, it's 35 pages. So this document is 35 pages. Whew. So she does detail the abuse. This is on page 2. She says that obviously he forced himself upon her and that he would often punch, beat, kick. The video definitely corroborates that. He blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. He forced Miss Ventura to engage in acts with, S-workers, and that he filmed everything. He ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. Whoa. He demanded that Miss Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. And he introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol, substance abuse, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. She cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Miss Ventura therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of drugs, physical and psychological abuse. It also goes on to say factual allegations. Teenaged Miss Ventura meets middle-aged Mr. Combs as her career begins. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in the late 2005 or early 2006 after Mr. Combs heard Miss Ventura's first single playing in a club and expressed interest in signing her to his label, Bad Boy Records. At the time, Miss Ventura was 19 years old and Mr. Combs was 37 years old. Typical grooming, guys. Within months, in February 2026, Miss Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. Miss Ventura's first album, Cassie, was released in August 2006, debuting at number 4 on the US Billboard 200. To promote the album, she made television appearances on MTV's Total Request TV and BET's 106 and Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV News, "You could hear the nervousness in her voice, and to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you've got to understand that success from her is coming out of nowhere. It's just so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently." Psychological abuse right there. While clearly paternalistic is noted that it was cute to him how regular Miss Ventura appeared, Mr. Combs comments raged true to some extent. Upon signing with Bad Boy Records, Miss Ventura was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. He recognized and glorified Miss Ventura's naivety and proved to set the groundwork of his manipulative and coercive romantic sexual relationship with Miss Ventura, a woman nearly 2 decades his junior. Within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched in her life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and personal life. Whew. Although Mr. Combs knew that Miss Ventura was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combs nevertheless pursued Miss Ventura at an after party in a hotel suite. Following Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party, Mr. Combs pulled Miss Ventura into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Miss Ventura did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom in the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. Mr. Combs' aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him, and Miss Ventura soon learned that Mr. Combs insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Although Miss Ventura had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Mr. Combs' obscenely display of wealth was intimidating to her. In this next incident, Piers Morgan interviewed security staff Roger Barnes. So what happened is in January 2009, after Mr. Combs learned that Miss Ventura spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles, he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Mr. Combs would be happy for her. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car, leaving the club, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bond, tried to stop the beating, but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away, but Mr. Combs followed her and proceeded to again kick her in the face. Miss Ventura was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Mr. Combs' home, where she began to throw up from the violent assault. Oh my God. Upon recognizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, Mr. Combs panicked and forced his staff to bring Miss Ventura to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. During this stay, as her injuries from the beating healed, Miss Ventura began to fully realize that Mr. Combs' tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Mr. Combs' behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting Mr. Combs to the authorities would not alter Mr. Combs' status or influence, but would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. Wow. This is incredible. And it goes on and on and on and on. To be honest, reading that, I felt like I was reading a movie. But if it hadn't been that, I watched the video where he drags her down the hallway. First of all, where he runs down the hallway with such rage and then gets to her, pulls her. And she's barefooted, guys. For a woman to walk barefooted on a hotel carpet, just know that the situation is really, really bad. She had to get out of there. I can't imagine walking down a hotel carpet barefooted. But that's how fast she needed to get out of there. And that's the small window. She even knew she had a small window, but she had that courage, guys. She had that courage to get out. So reading this legal document again, I did read it in November when it came out, when it was leaked. But reading it again and then having that video play side by side, it is just extremely, extremely gruesome, devastating. It feels like you're reading a novel, except now we know for sure, 100%, it is real. It's no longer alleged because he's now apologized. And his apology, because in my last video, I said, why is he not mentioning her name? This is a crappy apology. But their legal agreement, neither of them can mention each one by name in a public platform. So that's why his apology was so generic. But even though it was that generic, it was still triggering to Cassie. And he should have never done that apology, because when the Cassie filed in November, that's December, January, February, March, April, May. That's about 6 months. 6 months later, he suddenly has some kind of remorse in some remote location far away, looking like a homeless man. This is oh my goodness. And he had some kind of God syndrome. That's all I can tell. That's all I can say just reading that document. This is a lot to digest. But I wanted to put this out there in case there's somebody else or someone who hadn't seen or read the original filings, because this is crazy.com. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts down below. But if they cannot mention each other, then how is Cassie going to write her book? Because I believe there were rumors that she was going to write a tell-all book. Yeah, this is crazy. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.